I'm Tracy Klass, and I would like you to come and FRESS with me. And today we have an extremely special episode. We're focusing on Rosh Hashana. But today I have my favorite guest cook, because I am sharing the love today with none other than my fabulous friend, Gordon Radowsky. Not only is Gordon an incredible cook, he's an artist, he makes jewelry, decor. Look at my beautiful decor, and you can see the theme is
Rosh Hashana, pink and green, apples and honey.
Tell me what you've done.
Well, if you're the rich and famous,
yes,
you pick up the phone and you phone somebody and you say style, right?
Right.
But if you're normal folks like us, you go to your favorite greengrocer and you buy red apples and green apples and whatever apples are pretty, because apples and honey, and whatever you don't use, you use the next day in your apple cellars.
Absolutely,
Okay,
because
and a bunch of roses, and there you go, you're good to go.
Because Gordon knows I only eat my decor. I'm not one for edible decor. So that's why we've got apples, we've got lemons or whatever. So you'll notice it's Rosh Hashana. So we have apples and honey. You dip the apple in the honey for a sweet year. And normally we have a plaited challah, and today we have round ones, because you have for a New Year.
You know, that cycle of life.
The cycle of life, you see?
Year.
Correct.
The kind of coming of the new.
And
Renewal.
we're starting with starters. Because God, I mean, let's start at the very beginning, okay? And what we have is, okay, disclaimer, this is very, very Ashkenazi, okay? There's no Sephardic here. So this is straight out of the shtetl. I mean, it's -40 or nothing. We have a Danish herring. And do you eat Danish?
Darling, there's a story.
All right.
My late grandmother was the herring queen of Musenberg, and she made a fabulous Danish herring. Didn't like, not even hers.
Not even hers?
But
yeah,
a chopped herring, a roll mop. Oh, now we're talking.
So we've got a chopped, we've got a Danish, and for South Africans, mock crayfish. Do you think they've got mock crayfish anywhere else in the world, or is it just us? Have you eaten it anywhere else?
No, I think it's a here thing.
So when I talk about established in Lithuania in 1898 and reinvented in Cape Town, I think that's a Cape Town invention.
What are you going to call it? You're going to call it fish cocktail. Sort of in the northern hemisphere. You know, like a prawn cocktail?
Yes.
Imagine a prawn cocktail filling without the prawns. Substitute a firm fish.
Yes. So we've got, and to go with herring, of course, you have a kichel. Now, this is an interesting story. When you look at the Claudio Rodin book, you only find kichel here in South Africa. It came from Lithuania. When you look in American Jewish cookbooks, you never find kichel. When you Google a recipe for kichel,
apparently strictly Lithuanian.
Yes.
Okay. And because South African Jews have such a high incidence, if you like,
of heart attacks from schmaltz?
Of Lithuanian Jews, it's something that has sort of survived here and kind of nowhere else.
Correct.
Except, by the way, in Sydney, Australia.
Well, it was from the South African Jews that schlepped it to Sydney, Australia.
It has migrated once more and is going strong. By the way, yes, matzo meal, matzo balls, but not schmaltz. So when I went to Sydney and my uncle said to me, won't you make me chicken soup and cradle? I said, fine. And I could get everything except schmaltz.
Why?
And the woman standing next to me in Coles, in a broad South African Jewish accent, said to me, no dear, I'll tell you where to get schmaltz. 4 doors up the road, there's a Jewish deli. Ask for schmaltz, you'll get it there. And I went, oh, thank God for expat South African Jews.
My kichel, you can see it's just a flat, thin biscuit, like so.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, beautiful.
But my husband had an aunt, and she would make a biscuit kichel. So that was a much thicker one, and that with a cup of tea. You wouldn't call the Queen your aunt, I'm telling you right now. But so now, darling, please try my herring. My mother taught me how to make herring.
I'm glad we got this far. Can I eat?
Yes, you can eat, but I'm warning you, there is an
It's not right.
Dip the apple in the honey. Okay. And then should we sing the little song the children learnt at nursery school?
You learnt a different song from me.
Apples dipped in honey, we do eat. We daven to Hashem to make the new year sweet.
My one was apples and honey for Rosh Hashana. And more than that, I can't remember. I probably blacked it out. You know?
No, you probably ate the apples. We weren't listening. You were busy eating the apple and honey. And I just want to point out that the challahs are, we made them. My daughter made them. And so that one, we just did as a round. And then this one you do plait, where you do 6 braids. You do 6 long sausages, and then you do them in and out and up and over. And then you turn round, and then you get beautiful round challahs.
It's like a work of art.
But it's edible art.
The best kind.
The best. Now, come eat.
Darling,
yes.
do notice,
yes,
just in case the cholesterol level isn't high enough, you garnish with egg.
I'm busy. I'm looking at you having garnished with egg. Yes. L'chaim. Chingaling, bottoms up. And the problem with herring today, though, don't you remember your mother having big enamel basins of herring? My mom had huge enamel basins of herring, and the recipe starts, I will show it to you, soak for 18 to 24 hours, and then you had to clean this thing. My mother used to have, she actually had to clean, I know. And when they said chopped herring, Gordon, they stood there, my aunt used to chop the herring, and I'm talking straight from the chicken with a long knife. There was no such thing as KitchenAid. I mean, darling, I know that kitchen. And they stand there.
I wish I had that, because it's something that you see in a William Kentridge video. It's one of those tools that is so iconic that once you see it, you never forget it. It was a shaft and this sort of moon-shaped thing, and you hack.
You literally, that's gahak, as in gahakta herring and gahakta liver. They did the same thing. They hacked this thing.
And it was such a beautiful thing. And do you remember that thing?
That's how my mother made it. My mother had that old-fashioned mince machine that you clamped to the table. But don't stick your fingers in it. Husqvarna. It was a sewing machine. It was a sewing machine and a mincing machine.
Now, by the way, it skips a generation. My mother would not go anywhere near herring because she grew up with a mother who did herring like a religion, okay? And the first time I brought herring into my mother's home, she went, and you could see all of her childhood memory going like
PTSD. She had PTSD for herring.
She needed help,
She needed help, hey?
But when she ate the herring, she was fine with it.
Amy's granny, my ex-husband's mother, Boba was probably one of the finest cooks I've ever come. She used to make her own cheese for cheese blintzers. When she fried a blintzer, you could hold it up and the sun would shine through it. You have never...
hang cheese.
Correct. They used to hang the cheese and drain it. And she would make a blintzer like you have never in your life. And my mother-in-law, she wouldn't go into a kitchen. She wasn't interested. She almost overdosed. So I think it's about a love.
We've come back full circle, because people are making cheese again. Okay, people make cheese. They make kefir. They make that kind of thing. They make paneer. All sorts of things. But you know what the thing is with that cheese in those days? Do you remember getting milk in a bottle and there was that much cream? We don't get that milk anymore. You have to find it.
Okay.
Because there's no point in making cheese without great milk.
But we're not doing anything to do with cheese now because we're having a meat meal and you can see there is no cheese on the table. But please try them for me. For me, I can't wait. Try.
If I like this, then, well,
you
the
don't...
angels weep.
Okay, I can't wait. I'm under pressure. I'm under pressure here. You don't understand. This is nerve-wracking. I would never take such a big bite of something that I wasn't sure of, I mean, he's trying to spit it out. No, yes.
I'm sorry, Anne Resnick. I'm sorry, Tracy Klass. Roll mops, chopped. Dill, mustard, herring, green leaf, absolutely.
But not a Danish. I'm not taking
I
offense.
think Danish, I think architecture, furniture,
No, I think herring.
ceramics.
Really? I think pastries.
Oh, yes.
Yes, no, pastries. I think pastries, I think herring. Do
I'm
try them
pacing
off.
myself, though, huh?
You're going to have 1 spoon of everything.
Because 55 years down the line, I've learned.
Major problem. If you are invited for a Rosh Hashana lunch or supper, please, guys, do what Gordon's doing. Pace yourself, because this is the starters, and then there's much more to come. So it's not just about the herrings and the fish course, because there's more after this.
When I issue an invitation for a yontif or whatever, it comes with a strict verbal instruction: no eating after 2 p.m. I need your full hunger. Okay? I didn't stand in the kitchen for 48 hours for you to walk in and go, oh, I had a late lunch. Okay, because I'll murder you where you stand.
No. 48 hours just of cooking, and that doesn't include the shopping and the. I mean, it is. But I think that is for any festival of any religion. You know, I mean, these beautiful meals that you see, they're not instant. They take days.
Tracy, is that a prop?
No, my baby, God forbid, no. Do you want to tea? Do you want to break?
Would you break bread with me, please?
Break.
Okay.
Break. I can't wait. Oh, I'm going to have some with some, yum.
Yeah.
Definitely. You can have challah with mock crayfish.
Look, it just became a pocket bread. This is such fun, darling.
Oh.
We should do this at least once a week.
No, we can't afford it, darling. I'm not talking about financial.
No, you're talking about offerings. Yes. No, I knew. Exactly.
This is so divine.
Shame for people who buy halot, eh?
Shame for people who buy any of this, unless, of course, they buy it from me. Then it's good luck to them.
Actual eating, eh?
This is actually, when I say come fresh from
No, this
is not
eating.
No, we don't play for the camera here. This is actual real food. But my darling, we are going to be moving on. I'm not asking you to shove it down, but we're going to start thinking about the next course now.
You don't have to ask me. This is my natural.
Okay, default setting. So I have made all of this. Okay. And the reason I'm emphasizing this is Gordon's made one part of the meal and I've made the other. That's why I'm so excited, because I didn't make the whole meal. But I did make the next course, and we're going to have soup and knedlach. No Jewish meal, well, from my part of the shtetl, is complete without soup. And for me, it's chicken soup. Chicken soup with a matzo ball, also known as knedlach. But before we carry on, Gordon, I just want to clarify for viewers, Rosh Hashana. It's our New Year.
Jewish New Year.
And it is celebrated?
Celebrated.
September, October.
Yes, it's our spring-ish, sort of you're going out of heavy winter and in just sort of spring is around the corner.
For us, but in Europe,
Northern Hemisphere,
you're going straight into winter.
You're going into autumn.
Autumn.
It's autumn usually.
So Rosh is head
of the year.
So
Hashana, right.
Rosh Hashana. So it's New Year. It's renewal. It's time to start. That's why everything is round. You wish people a sweet New Year.
Yes.
That's why we've got the honey with the apples.
And in fact, lots of the parts of the menu, not just the apple and honey and the dessert, but the main course as well, features sweetness of one kind or another. So it'll be sweet spices, sweet root vegetables. You'll probably put honey in your meat sauce or your...
And even in the challah that we made, that's a honey challah. That's why somebody was saying, oh, the challah is so sweet. It's a honey challah. It's the one that we make for Rosh Hashana.
I think it's also kind of misleading to say Jewish New Year, because people, when they hear New Year, they think of the universal New Year, which is usually fireworks and celebrations of a very sort of carnival overt kind, whereas Jewish New Year tends to be quite solemn.
Well, it's very solemn because you are...
It's the apex of the year.
Correct. And then you have Rosh Hashana, and then 10 days later you have the Day of Atonement, and those are the days of awe, those 10 days where it's reflective. It's very, very somber.
It's
and as you said, introspective.
It's in an introspective time of the year. It's solemn. Jews who are not commonly synagogue attending will attend synagogue maybe for the only time of the year on Rosh Hashana and Yom Kippur, for example. It's taken that seriously.
Well, we want to know that he's listening, you know.
You see?
Absolutely.
He's listening, darling?
Yes.
Pronouns. You're getting your pronouns.
All right. The chicken soup, she is delicious.
I need to ask a question. You know, on MasterChef, where the judges say, now, when I open this egg, what do you want to happen? And they go, oh, I want it to be runny. Now, let's unpack. Are we going for firm, what Italians might call al dente? Are we going for fluffy, pillowy, oh, it just falls apart like a piece of air? Or are we going for that most fugitive, that most elusive thing, a bit of both?
A bit of both.
It's a bit of both.
I know mine are a bit of both.
Okay.
Because the fluffy ones are just, yes, I know.
Oh, it's looking very promising.
Yes.
You don't understand, Trace. People who are other than Jewish they're talking about a dumpling.
Because they've never been to a school Seder where you've done that and the knedel shot out the plate and hit...
And broke a window.
No, not broke a
broke a wall.
The tooth of little Jason Barilovitz across the way from you as you've done that.
Okay.
We've all
cannonballs.
We've all done that. And you've also done that when you've been invited to somebody and then you've put your soup, your spoon in the knedel and it's stuck there and
you need a knife and a spoon.
Yeah, a saw.
Shame.
And then you'll notice my chicken soup is very different from yours. Yours is a very clear broth. I mean, can you believe it? Gordon and I can have conversations over the consistency of chicken soup like Springbok rugby supporters have over the Springbok selection. We are...
No, but my darling...
Let me just taste
It's true. It's a true fact. I once got a phone call from a client to say, what is this chicken soup? And I said, but darling. She said, is there any chicken in it? I said, there were 92 chicken thighs that went into that pot. She said, but. I said, do you puree into it? And she said, yes, my grandchildren demand it. I said, yes, it's chicken broth. It's clear. It's, no, that won't do, darling. It's okay. I'll get out the pot and I'll boil up some carrots and butternut and I'll puree it, don't worry. And I went, oh, not everybody has the same idea in their head.
That's the whole idea. That's where I keep going back to when I started a taste of class. When I started a taste of class, and it was, evolved in Abel, but reinvented in Sea Point. And it is because the ingredients you get in South Africa, our tastes, You do these things, you cook with what's around you to add. But tell me something, Gordon, what is it about chicken soup?
When you're poorly, when you're ailing, when you feel like something's coming on, okay, there is nothing in this world that makes you feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel and there's hope and you're going to be fine. Like a steaming bowl of chicken soup and a matzah ball, a knedel. And it's researched now.
I was reading it up. Apparently it's got to do with the fact that, for me, I boil the whole chicken and bones and this and that. And it's the collagen and the vitamins and everything that's actually in the bones. I mean, it takes 6 hours to make the soup.
And when you can't eat anything else, you can have a bowl of chicken soup and it just makes you feel comforted and better. It's the ultimate comfort food for Jewish people.
No, for everybody, because I must tell you, when I describe it, when I'm at the Oranjestad Farm Market and people look at it and I go, it's like a vitamin B shot. You can be feeling, it's like a vitamin B shot. It's like all the goodness in one, and it goes down and you just feel better. You just, aside from and it stops anorexia.
Yeah, it's practically fat-free. It's diet food. It's health food. Please, come on.
Except for the knedel, of course, but we don't care.
Oh, did you not know that?
Oh, no, I didn't know.
All food that you eat on a Chag, a Jewish festival, or in pursuit of a commandment, a mitzvah, is calorie and cholesterol free. Did you not know? They've published the research. Absolutely bona fide, darling.
I'm going to go back, I'm going to go check. But now, baby, we need to eat up, because we need to literally move on. But are you loving these knedlach?
This is a pluperfect Hall of Famer. Okay? It's not the one that everybody is going to say is their favorite, but I'm telling you, you're not going to find a finer knedel. It is everything you want in a knedel. It is both substantial and pillowy.
Thank you, Dad.
And it's
taught me how to make these.
No, he taught you well,
He
darling.
did teach me well.
Will you teach me?
Well, if you go to Pinans and you stand there, maybe. So, I am so excited because I did not cook the next meal, the next part of the meal. Normally, for Rosh Hashana, for New Year, we do a brisket. Like, traditionally, it simmers, lots of syrup, very sweet. Obviously, the vegetables that were available in our bell at the time, because, you know, Gordy,
winter,
no, please,
autumn,
babe,
winter.
what did they have? They had a turnip, a carrot, a beetroot, a potato, and an onion. It was a root, you know, grown out with your head in the ground. That was it. Like, my aunts could make a banquet out of a potato and a herring. No, seriously, they could. I mean, they could do a million things with a potato, but that's all you had.
Spoiler, I still can.
But today, Gordon has cooked. Describe it to me.
Okay.
Describe it to me. Backstory.
I grew up in a family where our treat meal from baby was Chinese. You know, some families they do steak, some Italian, whatever. To go out and have a meal for us was Chinese.
Yeah.
And to this day, because in the last 20 years, of course, in Cape Town, you've had a proliferation of mainland Chinese people, more Chinese ingredients, more Chinese restaurants. Our love as a family of Chinese has just grown. And I'm not particularly fond of that sweet, carroty. Darling, I'm here for you. Okay. So what I've done is I've fused two ancient worlds, two cultures from time immemorial.
Yeah.
Jew and Chinese, and I call it Eurasian. Okay, so what this is your traditional brisket.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, it's sweet. Yes, it's aromatic and spicy, but my take on it is soy sauce, ginger, garlic, mandarin zest, mandarin juice, rice wine, all of those kinds of things that you associate.
That you just never got in our bill, but you got.
But darling, you know, this is the thing, you know, in my research, Jews didn't just come from northeastern Baltic Europe.
Yes.
They also came from the stands, places along the spice route.
Uzbekistan,
Azerbaijan, places like this. And one of the things you need to do when next year in New York is go to the Azerbaijani bakery where they do breads and filled stuffed pies. Oh my dear, you have with a traditional oven in your life. So this is my heritage, my family on a plate. Jewish, Ashkenazi, and Asian, which we like. Here is a sort of a lovely, zesty, crunchy Asian-style slaw of raw vegetables to cut a bit the fat, you know, the rich.
Just.
Here is just a lovely steamed rice with some peas and eggs and spring onions and some green beans, because, you know, they tell me green is good for you. And I believe them. Just flashed through a pan with a little bit of garlic and topped with some lovely toasted sesame seeds. Eurasian, darling.
Eurasian.
Okay, you didn't hear it first, but you know.
So it's not the duration of the meal is, it's...
Eurasian.
All right.
Okay, a little bit of, you know.
Now, and look, you know what? I'm actually going to eat.
Rice first, darling. Rice
You are
first.
such a bully.
Well, somebody has to show you how to eat. I mean, really, darling.
Oh, my darling.
A little star anise goes a long way.
No, but I must have a little bit of gravy because, I mean, you can't have dry food.
Heaven forbid.
And please put a little bit of green on there. We must have mixed of everything.
A little bit of this and a little bit
A little
that.
bit of yums.
We do silver service with fun.
Yes, no,
There
totally.
we go.
Okay, so the thing is about brisket. Whether it's duration, whether it has to cook for hours. I mean, all recipes with brisket start by prepaid electricity.
Rare roast brisket is shoe leather.
Rare roast brisket isn't.
Well, it doesn't exist.
It just doesn't exist. I mean, how a rare roast brisket? Gordon, I can't. I wished you could be eating this with me. You have no idea. The flavors and the taste, this is just sublime.
Are we having fun?
No, of course I'm having fun, I'm eating.
But it's still brisket. You know what I mean? We live in Cape Town, South Africa, and we live in a beautiful Mediterranean climate. For 9 months of the year,
Yes.
we can, wind permitting, we can eat outdoors.
Yeah.
We barbecue. And we live a sort of an outdoor lifestyle, and we like to exercise, and we like to do that kind of thing, right? We're olive oil and lemon people. We've landed here. So this kind of food is for special occasions to remember our heritage and for that sort of thing. With traditional Jewish food, the people who were cooking it were Sabbath observant.
Correct.
So you couldn't pop into the kitchen and whip up a quick meal like roasted chicken. You had to, because you were poor, use the cheap cuts of the meat, the bony, gristly things that could take 6, 10, 12 hours of cooking. Because what is one of the benefits of this is that you can't cook it quickly, you cook it long and slow. After 2 hours, this is still nowhere near cooked.
No, not close, no.
Because what you were going to do is on the eve, when you went into the Sabbath or the festival, when you could not cook because of Sabbath observance, you would prepare the dish with lots of liquid and long, slow cooking ingredients like roots into the communal oven, and it would be retrieved on the Sabbath, for example, the next afternoon for lunch.
Do you ever think somebody took someone else's food? Like you knew you were a shit cook, so you there was the communal oven, and you're like.
I cannot believe in that context that anybody would be that reckless to think they could even get away with it. Also,
Or maybe they were that desperately hungry
there
and they
was
just knew how to.
either a person in charge of the communal oven,
Yes.
or what is known as a Shabbos goy, who was there to overlook on behalf of their Jewish contemporaries, their people that they lived with, okay, who was nominated, a person of great trust, to look over and tend the oven because they could, because they were not Jewish, and they would make sure that everybody got what they put in.
Oh, so there was no nicking some there was no you knew that Mrs. Balufkin was a brilliant cook.
It was not worth the thoribble.
I think it would be. I mean, I've had some I would seriously
Would you?
Well, I'm the one that I know that my food is edible, but I don't know, I'd be tempted, hey. This is a traditional Rosh Hashana meal, but with a difference. It's updated, it's modern ingredients.
Exactly, we don't live in a shtetl anymore. We have access to Mediterranean ingredients, to Asian ingredients, to global ingredients, and everybody's, I mean, in China, people eat food that their parents and grandparents were unfamiliar with. I mean, do you remember a time when there was no olive oil, when there was no coriander, when there were a million ingredients that we kind of take for, when vanilla came from a bottle and it was a brown liquid as opposed to a thing that came from a seed.
It was Moya's vanilla essence. It was, you're quite right about olive oil, you know. Like, up until like my 20s, I don't think we ever had.
It comes from my teens and my 20s. Before that, it was something that you bought. If you were constipated, you bought it from the chemist.
That's
in a little bottle like that.
I thought that, okay. So, Gord, we're going to just wrap up here.
It was a medicine.
Darling, I'm in heaven. Okay.
Are you having fun,
No,
darling?
I'm having the best fun in the whole world.
Let me try my slaw.
Try your slaw, and then we're going to quietly eat and then move on to the next. Because, you know, you have soup and you have starters and you have main, and then, of course, no meal is a meal without dessert.
Oh, please.
So this is the favourite part of the meal for me. No, Gordon, I'm telling you, I'm absolutely convinced they got it all wrong in biology. You definitely have two stomachs. You have a food stomach and you have a dessert stomach. So people who go, oh, I couldn't, I'm too full, there's no such thing.
No, there's always space for a little taste.
A bit bigger than a little taste.
Okay.
Not just a little taste. So, Gordon and I shared the desserts. Okay, he made and I made. So I have made a ginger cake, which is an oil-based cake, and a parve ice cream to go.
What's parve, darling?
There's something that you can eat with milk or meat, so it's got no dairy in it. Right. Okay, so we could have had a chiffon cake, because that's also that big giant chiffon cake, but that we keep for Yom Kippur, for breaking our fast.
Indeed.
Today we've had so much ginger and spices and delicious. And tell me, what did you? So I brought the ginger cake and the Orly whipped cassata, the parve cassata. And you have made. Tell me.
Well, my approach to dessert for Rosh Hashana is to try and keep that apples and honey theme.
Yes.
So often what I do is a wonderful apple crumble with honey in the apple mix.
So how do you do the crumble, with a coconut oil?
Coconut oil, exactly.
Instead, so that...
Or the hard coconut fat. I don't melt it down, I actually just use it as a kind of a shortening.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And nobody knows the difference.
No, you don't. I will submit.
Secret with parve dairy is a little bit of salt. It makes it taste buttery, right?
Okay.
Right.
That's what. No, right. There's salt in the ice cream.
Now, what we've got here, because I'm nothing if not an old-fashioned boy, and I like an old-fashioned pudding, is a beautiful fresh pressed apple juice. So it's real apple juice as opposed to the one you get in the Tetra Pak, which if you read the fine print says reconstituted from.
Okay.
So what they do is they make a concentrate somewhere in a factory, and when they want to put it in the box, they add water.
Right.
This is real pressed apple juice that tastes of apples. It's got lemon juice, it's got lemon zest, and it's got whole spices like ginger, cardamom, and cloves.
So I can eat the whole bowl and not put on a gram.
Darling, it's health food.
Give me that.
And it's got a real jelly in it so that it's like collagen. Good for the face and the skin.
No, well, I'm not even sharing. And,
Darling,
and you know, my mother always used to say it must be jelly because jam don't shake like that.
And it's got the wobble.
You try my ice cream, I'm trying your jelly.
As if I'm not going to have both.
No, you're not. You can make this for yourself anytime.
Oh, is this yours?
That's mine.
That's your portion.
And
Okay.
a shtickle ginger cake.
Oh, do I love a ginger cake?
Do you?
Oh, do you know what the word for this is?
What?
Lekker is the traditional word. And at that time of the year, Jewish New Year into the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, you're meant to go to your loved ones like your parents or grandparents and demand lekker. And they give you lekker as a way of saying, may all your wishes be granted. You know, isn't that nice?
Gorgeous. So what I do with the ice cream, Gordon, is I chop up black chocolate, dark chocolate, and pieces of glacé fruit.
Yummer.
So I'm going to have jelly and ice cream. I'm going to have jelly and ice cream. No, this is for me. Must have some of the ice cream because it's sweet with the jelly and the jelly.
Oh, going to? I'm getting lessons about how to eat dessert. Darling.
I know. I'm sorry. You practiced. I can see it. It's had a dessert. He's had a dessert or two in his time. Yes.
You know.
So we've come to the end of our Rosh Hashana lunch or dinner. For me, it's been incredible because I got to experience an entirely new dish with brisket. I mean, the duration was as new for me as I'm sure as it was for you. And Gordon, I've loved having you. Thank you for making such beautiful food for us.
What a pleasure. My greatest joy in life is to feed. I'm sure it's the same with you.
And that's what Rosh Hashana is about. It's about food, family, and friends. All our food is available to order, and you're welcome to contact Gordon too.
Absolutely. I might order WhatsApp to my group, and my Instagram is on Gordon at Gordon Rad, and just direct message me for whatever takes your fancy. Absolutely. It'll all be available prior to Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashana.
And I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you all a Shana Tova, a Happy New Year, and thank you for watching. All the food you've seen today is available on order on WhatsApp, this number, 063 534 2139. Alternatively, pop past the Oranjezig Farm Market on a Saturday or Sunday and see what we have at our store, Taste of Klass. We look forward to seeing you, and thank you for joining us on Come FRESS with me.